In this WrestleTalk news, Alexa Bliss out of action, Ricochet caught out, my review of Raw and more. My master Chopper Pete has instructed me to inform you all today is day 100 of his reign as Jam That Champion, and you should all acknowledge him. He also now makes me wear a bow tie, so that's a thing. Now I have to do his subscriber dance. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
At WWE's Extreme Rules on Sunday, Alexa Bliss got beaten by Charlotte Flair, had her Lily doll torn up, was beaten again after the match, and then, in the spit version of AEW's exploding barbed wire deathmatch finish, botched the closing angle when a tablet to make her mouth foam didn't work, meaning she just dribbled a bit. All in her hometown. Wrestling Inc. has revealed this angle was actually to write Bliss off WWE TV, reporting that she's expected to take a few months off from the company. Bliss didn't appear on last night's Raw to follow up her pay-per-view loss, implying that is the case. It's an odd time to write off Bliss's character, as she's reportedly been selling a good amount of Lily doll merchandise. Not that Fiend-related merch sales is anything WWE like to capitalize on, but with Bray Wyatt rumored to be debuting for AEW soon, perhaps WWE have made the decision to take Bliss off TV to scrap her Fiend-related gimmick. Or there's the complete opposite theory, that she'll come back as even more Fiend, using the Lily doll face that Charlotte tore up as a new mask. What do you think Bliss should do next? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live from out of nowhere with my bow tie on. After Nick Khan. I actually watched that last night, Star Trek II. Wrath of Khan. It's my comfort viewing after a pay-per-view and I haven't slept. Khan! Hinted WWE wanted to experiment with more Saturday night pay-per-views following SummerSlam being on that day in August. The company has now confirmed that January's Royal Rumble will be taking place on Saturday the 29th of January from the Dome in St. Louis, Missouri. The Dome will be the largest venue ever to hold a Royal Rumble, according to WWE's press release, and as promoted by St. Louis Today, they're expecting 40,000 plus fans to attend the show. So 93,173 then. Do you prefer Saturday pay-per-views more because it's a better night to drink away your problems without work the next day? Let me know in the comments. Just in case you weren't aware, WWE pulled off the biggest return of the year on Sunday night. Bigger than Becky, bigger than Brock, bigger than CM Punk. Because God made his return to the company to cause the top rope to buckle under the demon Finn Balor, letting Roman Reigns retain his Universal Championship. I always knew God was a heel. Oh, but I'm all New Testament now. New Testament, new God. No one changes that fast, Megan. I mean God. Poking fun at the Divine Intervention finish, the WWE Creative Humor parody Twitter account posted, "Who knew the rope was going to collapse under the weight of ridiculous booking?" which was liked by current WWE superstar Ricochet. Completely unrelated, Ricochet was booked in a 24/7 championship match on Raw. Now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes. This episode was all about wrapping up the loose ends of the last few weeks' worth of hotshot booking before the main roster-wide reset starting in this Friday's draft, and also to pop a rating. Consequently, this gave a real end-of-season drive to the show, where people like Bobby Lashley and Sheamus, potentially having their last shot for a while at the titles they've lost, had an extra level of desperation. Different to Raw's usual level of desperation. Because please watch us and not the NFL. We've not just got one huge WWE Championship match to open the show, we've got it again in the main event, in a steel cage. And the Hurt Business are back together. And it's now a Hurt Business versus New Day feud. Please watch it. Ashley completely dominated Beige in the first match, using WWE's babyface worked over until the last few minutes template that got stale fast with Roman Reigns and John Cena. Big E hit one whole move, so Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin appeared, reforming the Hurt Business for the New Day to brawl with them, ending the match in DQ. Definitely not. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce then announced they'll finish this match in the main event in a steel cage that we conveniently already have hanging above the ring. You're exposing the business, Pete. Also, picture-in-picture ad breaks to WWE confirmed. JR will be heartbroken. Angel Garza beat the Viking Raiders' Eric after Humberto Carrillo distracted him with a rose. Ricochet versus Reggie could have actually been an entertaining flip fest, but Drake Mavericks. D-Team caused a DQ trying to win the 24/7 title. Akira Tozawa stayed in the ring afterwards demanding a match against anyone, which brought out the repackaged Limitless Keith Lee as Keith Bearcat Lee. I certainly like the name more since learning it's a reference to Bearcat Wright, a wrestler who fought against segregation in the 50s and 60s. And Lee was portrayed as a monster. As Jeff Hardy wasn't pinned in the United States title match at Extreme Rules, he got to team with Ali and Mansoor next, where they lost to Jinder Mahal, Veer and Shanky, letting the man who was pinned, Sheamus, to get a no count-out, no DQ Extreme Rules match for the US title against Priest. Not at Extreme Rules. It's hard to complain though when Sheamus continues to be one of the best in-ring performers in the company, with both men using the hardcore stipulation perfectly, making tables explode in the most satisfying fashion, the most spectacular being a white noise off the apron through one. Priest hit the Reckoning to win, presumably finally ending their feud, and hinting one of them will be traded to the other brand. I would not be against Shinsuke Nakamura and Priest trading places. Karrion Kross cut a promo earlier in the day wearing a suit, but then still came out in his gimp outfit to beat Jackson Riker. Typical hotshot booking. Putting on Kross versus Riker with no build? Money on the table, WWE. It's money on the table! Kevin Patrick crabbed his way in to interview Riddle, who explained there's no Randy Orton on tonight's show before addressing the Sky to say he loves him and misses him. Wait! Did Randy screw Balor? Riddle then had a very good wrestling match against AJ Styles. Both men have terrific chemistry together, and Amos didn't get in the way despite being so f***ing tall. The finish came when Riddle went for an RKO, but AJ countered into a Styles clash for the win. Then Amos got to feed, choke slamming Riddle to end the segment, just in case you forgot who Vince really wants to challenge for the title in the end. Doudrop answered Charlotte Flair's open challenge, which could have been a great opportunity to show how good she is as a wrestler. Unfortunately, Eva Marie caused the distraction and Flair won in a minute. Charlotte then beat up Marie, and then Shayna Baszler came down to break Eva's wrist in the steps. A move so heelish, the crowd chanted one more time. Goldberg delivered a message to Bobby Lashley with a picture in the background of someone bicep curling a baby, which is thematically appropriate, as Bill reminded Bobby he'd hurt his son, so he's going to hurt Lashley back, and if he's lucky, he'll even kill him. And our main event saw Beige and Lashley go at it again, this time in a steel cage. If they even get in it, because Bobby beat Biggie up around the ring before the match could even get started, further drawing out the Beige getting worked over template. The steel cage match is, of course, classically used to stop people from interfering. So the Hurt Business interfered, stopping Biggie escaping over the top, and then the New Day interfered, slamming the door on Bobby Lashley as a receipt. Biggie finally made his comeback and won with a big ending off the second rope. A fun main event, but there are warning signs that WWE will book Big E as the eternally worked over babyface in matches. The show ended with Drew McIntyre unsheathing his sword on the ramp, showing, to point at Big E's title, which he can now go for as Bobby is no longer the champion. Perhaps McIntyre isn't switching brands like we all thought, and it's Lashley and the Hurt Business who can go to SmackDown to feud with the Bloodline. What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments. 71% of you are happy that the Hurt Business is back together again in our poll on a poll match on the community tab. This episode had good, newsworthy angles like the latest return of Keith Lee and the Hurt Business reuniting, some great big-time wrestling matches, and very little that made you want to headbutt the TV. It was arguably both better and more extreme than the Extreme Rules pay-per-view itself. This week's Raw is 4 out of 5. Seth Rollins and Vince McMahon heat. Bray Wyatt angry with WWE. New AEW titles coming and more. But I don't want to dance for them. I know, you beat me last night, Pete, which means I am your manservant now. Give us a subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.